today, Darrell. I mean, I know this is slightly different, but I was thinking, my gosh, we would have been in Rwanda right now.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
But
yeah, we would have been.
There's probably a very good reason, because now we've met you in this way. So when we do meet you face to face, I think it's going to be far more powerful. So yeah, I wanted to share that.
Absolutely right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
This would have been the week of planning for next week, which would have been the Commonwealth Summit. So yeah.
Yeah. But I did miss what you had said. So I would love it if you just updated me on the main parts of your conversation that you had.
The question goes to Darrell. He's a good mediator.
No. Look, you can talk to each other, please. I'm sure you can have a conversation between you. The point was, I think Deborah missed some of the conversation about the fact that we know where you were last week. You were in Bugesera district. You were developing a mobile classroom, a mobile spacing for a school, for an NGO, and so. Sure. We talked about the fact that you said you've taken lots of pictures. For professional photography has been done. So we're looking forward to seeing those pictures later, and how you can then use those to craft a story and a message about what you're doing. So that's where Deborah, I felt, could come in. You mentioned that you'd tied in with a media house that has access to 3 other media houses. So that's where the conversation got to.
Oh, fabulous! So you have the network to share your story.
Yeah, so sure. That's what I was saying with Darrell. That I had a conversation with a media house previously, and we agreed they will be able to cover my stories and share that story with 3 other media houses that they work in partnership. So working with just one media house will give me access to other 3 media houses without just talking to them or having any agreement or any contract with them. So that's a powerful platform to me, just to share my stories and to brand what I'm doing just here in Rwanda. Yeah, and I'm going really to open my YouTube channel. Ooh. So that I'll be sharing my videos, because we took many videos. So want to cut just small videos, so that people will be able just to see what we are doing in Rwanda.
That sounds so exciting. How excited are you about that? I mean, what do you see are the benefits of all of what you just said?
You can't imagine how really joining this team opened my eyes. It opened my eyes. I finished to read the book of from Professor Kevin, Brand Planning. Oh my gosh. You can't imagine how.
Tell us what "oh my gosh" means, please.
We'll send this to him.
Oh my gosh. Please tell us what does "oh my gosh" mean?
Actually, I learned how I can brand my business, how far I can reach, what I have to do. I didn't know anything about branding, really. So thinking about connectivity with those media houses, thinking about opening my YouTube channel, think about using professional cameras. So that's all I learned from that book.
Wow.
As well as also joining. Yeah, sure.
So tell me, what is the thing that you are doing right now, and that you've done immediately out of all of this inspirational learning?
Yeah. Right now, what I'm doing right now is just keep learning what I have to do, because according to what I learned previously, it showed me that I need to learn more about business, branding, marketing, innovation. So I'm going to really keep learning more about those, especially those three: branding, marketing, and innovation. And also, I want to expand my business. Unfortunately, I was preparing to start the training session with young, not young, but their youth from WDA this coming Monday, but they postponed that session. Yeah, they postponed that session because I was thinking to also call those media houses also to cover that story, because it was one of our hindrance really to make perfect toys, just to do not have those people with those skills.
So these are just for people that, Natida, thank you for joining us. Good morning. So I know WDA is the Workforce Development Authority, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
And so just for Deborah's benefit, perhaps, what was it you were planning to do? Are these people you're training for your business? How does it, what was the purpose of this training?
Was really to train them for my business, and also to keep also posting on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, like to people be aware of what we are doing now.
So what's happening to those people? So WDA was going to train them, or you were going to train them? What was going to happen?
I'm going to train them, but the problem is still the COVID-19. You know, in the you know, the Rusizi districts, the people from Congo managed to escape and enter the country. So they spread the coronavirus in Rwanda, in that side of country. So due to that problem, that please let us see.
In Rizozi, is this in Rizozi?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
No.
That's why. Otherwise, I was ready to start.
Oh, I see. And that's where the training was going to take place?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And how long was the training going to be for?
6 months.
6 months training?
Yeah, sure.
So you were going to be training them?
Yeah, I'm going to train them, but also I hired some teachers, carpenters, so we work together.
Okay, I see. So you're physically making the toys. You brought together some carpenters, and you were going to be sharing. So is there any way that you could do some of that remotely? Can you do some basic training via you know, for example, via make a video of some really basics to, you know, as an introduction? I mean,
yes, like showing them the basic of how to make toys.
Yeah, I mean, essentially what I'm saying is clearly, I mean, especially carpentry, you need to be physically there. But
yeah, sure,
is there a way to separate out some of the things that you could deliver from a distance, and some of the things that you would need to deliver when you're physically there? Is there perhaps some way of thinking about that?
That side of making toys, I will need really to be there. I will need really to be there, because even those carpenters, they don't have that much skills about how to make toys. So I need to be there, maybe to help them and some guidance how to make toys, what I need.
So it's purely physical. Is there anything that you could share with them beforehand about the storytelling, etc., that goes into your brand, that you could share with them before you finally meet them face to face? Is there something where they could be enchanted with the amazingness of you know, the value that you provide with your toys?
Yeah, sure. We have even the meeting today, 3:30 today p.m. 9:30, 3:30 p.m. today. I have a meeting with teachers, so we'll be sharing all those instructions that you mentioned.
I think Deborah's right in saying, you know, like it's like we would call it an induction, or it's really telling people about your brand and getting them excited about why they are working with you. Training, like an introduction. You've got these images that you're beginning to bring together, and you're creating a YouTube channel, and you're very articulate, Bonville, in how you present yourself. So you know, can you do something in a much more Zoom-like, maybe not Zoom-like way, because people may not have access to the technology, but certainly using visual images about your story, the value proposition, the brand that's being developed. You get really them really excited, and as Deborah said, enchanted about your brand, and why they're going to be so excited about developing these amazing toys that are going to create, which solve a struggle for people, which then help them achieve their happy ever after. You've articulated a lot of this in the artifacts that you have already developed.
Wow. I understood now. I understood. Really, I didn't think about that before, but yeah, it's a good trip. Thank you so much.
I mean, the more that I'm thinking about it, Bonfils, and this is your time for talking, but it's not about, but I'd like to add that some of your greatest advocates will be your staff, anybody who touches and makes these amazing toys. So they're tapping into their ideas about storytelling and toys, and the value of that will only make your business bigger and bigger and bigger, because you are then transferring the permission for play and storytelling to many more people. So you're moving your carpenters from simply just I mean, what do they use? A hammer and a nail and I'm trying to, and I'm laughing because my dad is a carpenter. Yeah, I should know better. A saw. I'm trying to remember what I saw him use. But
I'm glad you're not in charge of training.
I'm going to share something with you, Bonfield.
Yeah.
I've just said to you that my father is a carpenter, but I'm going to share something else with you. My dad is one of the most amazing storytellers. So, yeah. So, you know, we would just say, oh, you're off going to work, Dad. He would sit there and talk to us about the story of the door, or the story of the lock that he had to do, or whatever the various things. So then we started to go, oh my God, Dad, this is really fun. And he says, yeah, but you got to go to work. You got to go to school. But the point, yeah, I mean, my dad is a storyteller. He will sit you down in the kitchen.
So your dad was co-creating a story with the person he was making the product.
Yeah. So those things that we take for granted, I now have a different, when I look at the skirting in a house, when I look at a door, when I look at the alcatraz, because then I could remember them. I'm like, oh, because there were stories. So my invitation to you is to invite the people who are going to be physically making your amazing toys to start getting them to start making stories about the value of them in their own lives. And you know, I think you're going to be very surprised at how it will just transform your business from the inside out.
Yeah, sure. That's right. That's true. That's true. I can see that. I can see even the impact. Yeah, sure.
Can you imagine you're telling them a story and they're getting involved and they're starting to create the story with you? So they're not just seeing themselves as learning a skill, but they're becoming craftspeople, and their craft is having an impact on the family, on the mum, on the dad, on the child, on the happy faces. They're not just, you know, this gets them really emotionally involved as trainees in your brand. this is not usual. It's not usual. But yeah, so and using those images, you've already created your, the value map. You've started to create where the product comes from, the wood that's used. You tell people the story of the brand that you are creating, and they're going to be creating the brand with you.
Yeah, sure. It's something beyond carpentry, just sure.
Absolutely. So what I would, for example, what companies do you love in the in the toy making world?
Marbury.
Okay.
Yeah, Marbury really is my favorite company.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, do they use storytelling?
Sorry?
Do they use storytelling?
No.
Oh, okay, interesting. I'm going to share a company that I love, Disney. Disney.
Yeah, sure.
Even though Disney sometimes is a bit like, oh, come on, we need some diversity. However, I don't know about you, but I remember
one of my favorite TV channel.
Bonfields, I think I know you. I think so. Think about it. How did Walt Disney had a process of creating stories. That's the reason why Disney stock is so high.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because it's storytelling. So those companies that I've seen flop, I'm just trying to think. There's a toys company, Toys R Us in the UK, and I think it was all. I don't know if you know a company called Toys R Us. In my opinion, part of the reason why it flopped was that it lost the enchantment. It simply was, all right, you go in there, buy it, and you go. There was no
very rational.
Yeah, it was very rational.
It was like going to Simba. It was like going to Simba, Bonfield, to buy a toy.
Yeah.
Just a bigger version.
Yeah, whereas when in the UK, when children get the chance to go to the Disney shop, oh my God, you've got to hold them back because it's like, and there's another shop in London. And there's another shop in London called Hamleys. That has another massive story, but it's about stories. So,
I used to go there as a kid when I was like 7 or 8 years old and I behaved myself. My mum and dad would take me to Hamleys. And wow. But in those days, it was like being really enchanted. I think it's lost its way a bit. But if you look at the history and the tradition of Hamleys, and you go online and look at Hamleys. But what I was interested in a couple of years ago, I was quite early in London, and I didn't realize they still have a tradition every morning where they stand outside like these soldiers, toy soldiers, and somebody gets a bell and then they open the doors. So that was quite a tradition that still is carried on to this day. But I think Hamleys so you need to look at these brands and just get a sense.
Yeah, really, I need to look at that. Yeah,
Toys R Us disappeared for all sorts of reasons. And look at as Sven reminded us 2 weeks ago, probably the best, biggest educational toy brand in the world is Lego. So look at Lego. Look at how they've built.
Yeah, sure, I know them.
Brand into a multi-billion-dollar empire. And they've made mistakes along the way as they've got bigger and they've had growing pains, but they've had to evolve and adapt. They're further along the life cycle than clearly African educational toys is. But and have a look at some niche players as well. Some niche educational toy providers, which are really about. I mean, yours is like a craft. I get a sense there's a lot of love that is put into it. It's not just something. It's not just something you go in, you buy, and there's something about it. And there's lovely toy brands out there that you can learn from in terms of the way in which they tell their story.
It's the story. It's the story because children will be dragging their parents and saying, I need this because the story, I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I would like you, I mean, this is your session, and I'm curious now to find out from what we've just said, what is coming to your mind now?
Yeah, really, what came in my mind now, it's like, how to say this? I have a long walk, and I have to make it happen. Yeah, in simple words, because I need to expand my business. I need to be more creative. I need to be more innovative, and to learn from those successful companies, and to see if really it can work in my country.
Yes. You're saying if it can work. I mean, I think in terms of strategy, but story is a universal quality that we all have. Story is something that every single culture has amazing stories. And I suppose I'm inviting you to invite your craftsmen and everybody that's involved with your business to learn how to describe their own amazing stories. So because you've said this long journey, but there is going to be a happy ever after. There is always a challenge, but there is a happy ever after. So perhaps
to every stage,
perhaps you might, sorry?
To every stage, to every step.
Yeah, happy, and I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious. Let me ask you: do you know how to write a story yourself?
I know, really, because I have that background of journalism.
Ah.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't know that.
I did that in 2011. I was a journalist in partnership with an NGO called AREN. So we used to, the purpose was to put these people from Rwanda, Burundi, and Congo on the same common ground of understanding each other. So that was the purpose. So we used to make documentaries to the same topic, if I can say. Yes. For example, marriage mixed, a Rwandan that married a Burundian, a Congolese who married the Rwandese, something like that. Is it possible? What happened after? Like also, for instance, Congolese who have a small business in Rwanda, as well as Rwandans that work in Congo. So to let people of those three countries to understand that it is possible really to go to that country and doing business, get married, things like that. So yeah, that's my background. And in 2015, I went to Deutsche Welle in Bonn, Germany, to digging in that journalism career.
Okay.
And back in Rwanda, I did editing in one of the famous websites called igihe.com.
Okay, so you really do understand story.
Yeah, sure.
So now you're simply using toys to express these various stories. So my invitation really is for you to build that out, strengthen that aspect of your business, and then it will create a momentum. So whilst you're developing your technical side, etc., the storytelling that will be shared and then shared amongst others, because that's what social media is about, sharing stories.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, sure.
So if you craft some stories, you've got some key themes, and link it to the various toys that you have, then they will see the value of the toys.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree with you, because that was my phase 2 of my projects of making toys. My phase 2 was to create a platform where NGOs that operates in kids or in charge of kids, such as Save the Children, UNICEF, Plan National Rwanda, and many more, to let people know what they are doing. And also, in that platform also, it will be my occasion also to brand what I'm doing and to let people know what we are impacting in our community. That was my first.
Let me ask you.
So,
You told me
I
that
was
you do.
planning to open my website and also to print out a small magazine monthly, just, I don't know, once in 2 or 3 months, I don't know, just to share those small magazines in those NGOs, in schools, things like that.
Yeah, quarterly magazine or something.
Yeah, sure. Because I want to focus on kids, their talents, their challenges, people who are really impacting those kids, because they don't have that platform in these media houses, because it seems like their stories, they don't make money to those media houses. So I want to help. I don't think it's to help. I want to contribute to let them have that platform. So that's what I think. But it was just a phase 2. Right now, I was thinking just to open that YouTube channel and use my social media really to brand and to advertise what I'm doing now.
I mean, Bonfil, what I'm hearing, you're identifying some very clear platforms, but I think you need to go. You need to come back a step. I think you need to come back to your core, which is about storytelling.
Yeah.
I think that by the end of today, by the end of the week, you should produce 3 to 5 short stories. You should be able to write some story with a character. You know, a young boy who's 5 years old, he trips up at school, his mum can't come because of something, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
The teacher hands him a toy. It's an Africa educational toy, and suddenly he's taken into some other world and forgets all about his knee that he's grazed.
Exactly.
And then the mum turns up and he's happy, and
I think you need to come back to because this is the real value of your toys. They are purely a platform, instrument for children's imaginations and storytelling.
Yeah.
So I think you need to come back.
Yeah. Actually, I have a story, but I didn't write it. I have a story of a father who came to our workshop to buy toys for his kid. They used to say that his kid is ignorant in class. He's not very smart as everyone in class. But after buying those toys in my workshop, today he wrote me a short SMS that's really using those toys at home has changed everything. Today, his kid very smart in class. Everything has changed. I was like, wow. So I got a story right now. So I'm going really to
so do you see how they're there for you? They're there for you. I'd like you to write I'd like you, and I've given you a number.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like you to read that one. I want 7 this week. But I want just a short, just the way that you've done that, a short story that gives us the challenge, the issue, you know, the setback. And then, you know, you've got this setback and we think, oh my God, everything is lost. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then, you know, this amazing toy comes in and it enchants either the child or the parents, because that story that you described was very much about the parent, which is lovely. I would love a story as well about the child, from a child's point of view. You know, what's going, yeah. So little person, 4 or 5 or 6, I would love to hear from their little voices, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I did that, and I did that. You know what children are cute, and they've got some little... So that's what I want to hear from them.
Wow. You're so
their
special.
little story. Now that then, because the reason why I'm saying this, I want you to step away from any form of communications, which is just telling people what to do. Now, you probably say, but Deborah, you're telling me what to do. Yeah, but yeah, I'm giving you instruction. Yeah, instruction, because the thing is, because storytelling is quite different to information. And and I mean, you're a journalist, you know this, but I want you to go into the storytelling aspect, and then build your content around stories, which then can go into your various platforms and can go into various formats.
Yeah.
But you need to come back and focus on the stories, which are going to be relevant now to the a variety of young people. Yeah, so I can see your picture on the on the screen, and I can see all those little toys. Those little children, they're having a nice little conversation. We need what are they saying? That is what a mother or father, they'll get excited. It's like, oh my gosh, my child is now describing this story about whatever. That's the content that I'm highly suggesting that you focus on, which will engage not just the children, but it will also engage the parents and everybody else. And then you will hear the oohs and the ahs and the because adults will see themselves in the story. Children will say, well, I made up that story.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I understand, really. I understand the context. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and that's, I just want to, I'm kind of going on here, but I just wanted to let you, because you're a writer, clearly, and you know the difference between information, which can be quite dry, and a story.
The story, yeah. That story doesn't
stories
expire.
From the children's point of view and stories from the parents' point of view.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the story doesn't expire.
Exactly. And that essentially is, I think that's really where your work is right now. You have got a lot of the amazing business structure and how big it will grow, etc. But it can't grow unless you've got a story.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Yeah, sure. I agree. Totally agree with you.
And you look at the best pitches to, when you're talking to suppliers or investors or government support, you capture them with your story. Now, every 4 on a larger scale, for example, in London in 2012, London hosted the Olympic Games. But 8 years before that, London was by no means the favourite to win the bid. The bid was won at the presentation. stage. At the very last stage, everyone thought that Paris was going to be the host of the 2012 games. And in the last presentation that was delivered, Lord Sebastian Coe himself, a former gold medal athlete, was heading the bid in Great Britain, and he told a story. He told a story of why the London should host the Olympic Games in 2012. He told the story of what it was going to achieve for the children, the generations coming up behind him, and what it's going to do for the country. And it was because of that presentation, it is said, that London won the bid for the London 2012 Olympics to host the Olympics. Through storytelling, because he captured the hearts of the judges, of the panel that he was seeking to convince. And he used very strong images, which were very emotional. It wasn't about data and facts and figures. Well, if it was told as a story. So I think you've probably reached, as Deborah says, where you need to be right now. And in fact, you may even, looking at your 6-word proposition that you have currently got, you may find that you adapt your proposition to be the real kernel, the real heart of the stone in the stone at the heart of the fruit. That's the real seed. In terms of your story. So that 6-word proposition may well be, you may well feel it needs adapting. So it's much more about, because I think Deborah's right. Now you're talking about stories. I can remember right now, I can see myself, I'm 5 years old. I've got my tin of toy cars, and I'm picking out a car. I always remember it looks like a racing car.
My toy from Africa Educational Toys.
Yes, well, I wasn't back then, but clearly if my parents knew about your brand then, it would have certainly been an African Educational Toy brand. So this was, I think, a little toy. And so, and there was a few metal car companies at that time, Corgi and Matchbox, which were very famous. And I would race my cars up and down the living room. So I can see myself doing it now. It's taking me back to that time because of the discussion that we're having. That's how important your storytelling isn't just about when you tell a story about your product. It reminds people of other. It reminds the mum, the dad of other things that are going on, and so therefore they suddenly become connected into a story because they're remembering their own story.
Yeah, sure.
I'm really excited by that.
How are you feeling, Bonifield? Because I'm hearing, yeah, sure, but how are you really feeling about this?
Really, you are the inspiration. You are the inspiration. You are the inspiration. I can see myself doing something beyond what I was thinking before. Yeah, sure.
I'm the inspiration only because I am a mirror of you. So I'm only bringing out what is already in you. This isn't about me. You're the one who's explained this all this skill around storytelling. You have this, and I'm simply being a mirror. I'm just showing it, and perhaps you are now in awe of yourself. Perhaps you're now in awe of the fact that this was your story to create this amazing brand, because the very fact that you've got a career history which is built on storytelling, you've learned all these skills in these various places, and now you're bringing them together into one place to make money as well, okay, because that's part of the story. Okay. And I think that's really where you're at. So yes, thank you to myself and Darrell, but without you, we're literally putting a mirror up towards you.
Yeah, but also without your inspiration tips, I couldn't really think beyond I used to think before. How I used to think before. Yeah, sure. Because I'm saying this because when I was there in Bogesera districts in the village, I met a guy who has a project of how to say this, to make water pure water. It's like a small factory where they transform just the normal water to be pure, and people can just buy them. But when you see how he runs that business, the only thing that he lacks is to meet Darrell and Deborah.
What do you mean by that?
Sigon's just in the background listening.
And what do you mean by that?
Actually,
you're trying to say that
that's how we used to be. That's how we used to be. We used to wake up in the morning, going to the workshop, and we think that we're doing business, but in the wrong way.
Busyness.
In the wrong way. Yes. Yeah, doing
busyness.
Yeah.
Business. In the wrong way. In the very wrong way.
I'm going to invite you to think about it differently. You're talking about doing it in the wrong way. Can I invite you to consider that you were working with the strengths that you had, and what we are doing is helping you to build on those existing strengths?
Yeah, sure.
I'm saying this because I would like you to think of yourselves as that everything is actually working together to make something happen, as opposed to things happening to take away from you. None of you are in deficit, and that chap is not in a deficit. He will at some point realize that he may want to grow, but at this moment his pain isn't enough to perhaps be looking for other support. But you had got to a point where you wanted to grow beyond where you were, and so I want to acknowledge that for you. So we are not your saviors, we are simply a guide.
Yeah, sure, I know.
Important.
And important to know.
I mean, we exactly. I think it's important to know also that as your guides also need guides. So we also have guides in our life, you know? And so sometimes we also get busy in other things that we're doing, and we need to take a step back, and we also have that support around us to enable us to then be there for you. Sigon's in the background, been listening in. He's got some stories to tell, I think, tomorrow as well. I'm not sure if he's there.
Yeah.
Is he there? Is he going to unmute himself?
Oh yeah, and Pacific's here as well.
And Pacific's here as well. Yeah, they're both.
But thank you very much, Bonifields.
That's great.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But I'm still here. I'm not leaving.
No, don't. Today is really about just a reflection, a time to reflect, a time to review what we've been doing before we then give you the task we want you to think about next week, which we'll talk about next week.
All right.
Because if you think about it, you've done a lot of work the last few weeks. You know, we started off, didn't we, by getting you to think about your business model and just revisiting your business model.
Okay.
And thinking about the activities and the resources that are going to go into driving your business forwards. Because at the end of the day, these discussions are great and are very nice, but these actually do have to have an impact on ultimately on your business.
Yeah, sure.
And it sounds to me and Deborah, it sounds to me, can't talk for Deborah, she can talk for herself, that from what you've been discussing this morning, you've certainly thinking about your business in a different way than you were before. Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Sigon, I'm not sure if Fidenz is there, actually. Wilson, I think.
I'm here, but
oh, he's there. Whoa! I need to come off my chair then.
Then I was listening, but I'm in a very, very how do you say? Very chaotic environment. I'm in a market. So I didn't want to.
Oh, okay. We'll keep listening. Keep buying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and tell us. But you've got a story to tell tomorrow, haven't you?
We do. But tomorrow I'll be talking about the origins of the idea, how it has been so far the journey, and what we are looking forward to do. And we have great things to announce. We have the survey that is almost closing. The results are almost there. And we are striking a partnership with one of the biggest telecom companies in Rwanda to make sure that we are doing some inclusion, financial inclusion for female street vendors. So there's so much going on right now. That
Good. Okay. Sounds excellent. And we're going to listen in tomorrow on what you are planning to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Good morning, Wilson. Hello, Wilson.
His mic is still muted. Wilson, your mic.
No, he's not.
Do you hear me?
Yeah. Hi. How are you?
Good.
How's your week been?
Sorry, I'm late. I've been struggling with getting late.
Oh,
but nice to be with you again. Hope you're all doing well.
Absolutely. And how has your week been? What have you been up to this week?
The weekend was good, but now we have great news. The tourism here in Rwanda, the government released it. Domestic tourism, we are going to start to take people to different destinations. And private jet, they can plan their travel to Rwanda. Now we are happy.
So is there, well, maybe you can update me and Deborah, is there news on flights into Rwanda?
Just private jet. They can.
Private jet. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
They can come and they can visit the different destination. Yes. We are waiting soon. Just another private airlines.
Okay.
Come here. Yes.
Excellent.
So when you say private, does that also mean like charter flights?
Yes, charter flight.
Okay.
Yes, people, they can organize themselves and take their charter, then fly to Rwanda. Now it's allowed.
Right. So no, yes. But no Rwanda Air, no KLM, no. Anything else?
No yet.
No, okay.
Yes.
So what is your focus then over the next couple of weeks?
Now we are just trying related to what I learned from this session from different experts. I'm trying to make just new branding, just marketing that related to COVID. So what now I'm planning to do the couple of weeks to come. Yes. Now even this morning I was trying to design some packages to think about branding, just all those stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're
now I'm receiving different media house. Yesterday I talked with RBA. Today, like 2 hours to come, I do have 2 other media house. They are just all calling. They want to meet me and talking on what we are doing, just in the way of promoting domestic tourism, on how we can just work while COVID is just still the measures that we are going to use in order to our tourists to stay safe. So just I'm now receiving different media house, just discussing the how we are going to just operate while still COVID is still.
Great.
Yes.
So this is
even some of them, they are waiting for me to.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I told them that I have just a special session which I have to attend. Okay. So they're waiting. They're sitting somewhere.
Are they? For me. Oh, right. Okay.
Yes.
So you've got meetings with TV, radio, press.
Yes.
Ah,
now
excellent.
They're inviting us to go, and they're coming to our place to just have just a talk. Sure.
Okay, so you've gathered the press.
Yes.
Very good. So how are you going to be sharing your story with them? What are you going to
be? Yes. Really, I'm telling you that it was really fruitful to get this chance to participate in this Muganga, this clinic, you know. So now, just those are waiting for me. I'm going to tell them that that's the way I'm trying to brand to make a brand, just according to this time we're in. So that people are just our customers. They may reflect very quickly, or they may have just eager to come and consume our service.
Okay, Wilson, thank you very much. I really enjoyed that. I want to know, because Darrell and myself are going to be asking you all, you know, in terms of where are you at, and then we're going to ask you to pull together everything that you've done so far. And what I would like from you is and it's great that you valued the clinic. Now I want to know, what is the story that you're going to create for these travelers coming into Rwanda about why they should be coming in? So I think it was a couple of weeks, was it? No, it was last week where the professor talked about building into the story the things about safety, and it's really safe here, etc. And he described some other things. And I'm just really curious, what are you actually going to say to your clients about why is it worth coming back to Rwanda?
Okay. Why with Wilson Tours?
Yes,
Wilson
please.
Tours, yeah.
Now, just I'm trying to create just innovations, making them that we have different packages, have different stuff, and again following because our government has just put the just instructions concerning the safety and the security for our customers. So I'm going to show them that we have the new packages for them. Just as we learned all about value chain, supply chain, you know. So I will try to make a story showing them Rwanda is a very safety destination, showing them all instructions from the government and the new packages, not the new one, the creativity. I have tried to create another creativity with just another new activities, another new experience, which were not there before. So I'm going to try to make a good story to tell them all about my country and the region, Miraj, because we are bordering Uganda, Congo, Tanzania.
Okay, fantastic. I love that.
Increasing in our neighboring countries, but just I will try to show them that here in Rwanda, it's we have really good instruction concerning health.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And that's very clear safety information. I'm curious how you're going to be talking about the adventure side, because that's very much about safety, which is perfect. You know, you've given you will take them through a very well thought out package. So that's very clear. What I'm curious about and is the story that you're going to be sharing. What do I mean by that? Particularly travel and coming to Rwanda. Rwanda is a place where you can get adventures. And I think that you might want to talk about some of the adventures that other people have had in the past. So combine all the factual information about how safe Rwanda is, but also combine that with some stories of these people came to a new place, something was different, because Rwanda will be very different in terms of landscape, temperature, all sorts of things, and how that became an amazing adventure for the various people that came along to your past trips. So perhaps in your story, you can describe all the safety features, but you can also describe, provide some more testimonials of how people experienced the previous packages that you've had. So you've got a balance between the information, it's very safe, etc. And then, so let's think of a story. What did the professor say last week? He said something along the lines that you've got somebody in Austria who's very bored with their job. They're sitting at their desk. They've got money to obviously hire a private jet to come into Rwanda, okay? But they're still bored. So now they see that the borders are now open and they're now looking for an adventure. And then you can talk about how you take them on an adventure and how they then change how they see the world. You know, that's what an adventure is about. You know, you're a bored person sitting there in Austria, you know, bored for whatever reason. You now see the opportunity that, right, I can now go to Rwanda because I've got my jet, and I'm going to book with Wilson Tours because Wilson Tours is going to give me an adventure of my lifetime. You know, an adventure. And then you describe, you know, what the nature of the adventure could be, that there will be surprises, but they can really enjoy themselves, but they're going to be different when they come out of it. So that's essentially, I mean, I hope I didn't, hope you were clear about that. I was just curious about how you're going to build both information as well as a story that connects to the people who you want to target.
Sorry, come again?
I know I said a lot there, Wilson. Sorry. So let me slow down. I said a lot there. You're going to go to these media houses and you're going to describe you know, what you offer, the various packages that you offer. That's great. I would like you to think about some stories now that you can also be sharing about how people in the past have had great adventures with you, and give some short stories of the adventures that they've had with Wilson Tours.
Mm-hmm.
What does that sound like to you?
Yeah, sure. It's really nice advice. Just I will share with them the story, how our adventure were before, and what is going to be to be. Yes, all those story. Even I have tried to. We have surprises, main surprises. Mm.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. So those surprises, if you can, I mean, you've obviously done this before. If you can describe some previous people's experiences with the surprises and how they have changed for the better, then other people can see themselves in your stories. So that's essentially what I'm inviting you to consider.
Yeah, sure.
They'll be excited.
I will do it.
Yeah, and the surprises, you know, I mean, I'm just guessing about what you might do. You might take them to a village or take them to a particular area, and then, you know, you organize something which they weren't expecting, and they then bounced back. They said, "Oh my God," you know, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I just saw." Sorry, you might not have lions and tigers. Please correct me. But they saw something, or they did something which was a surprise, something that they were not expecting. But because you have such a safe, well-organized guide program, they were able to experience that, and they came back and they went, "Wow, Wilson, that was amazing. We just had the biggest adventure in the world."
Sure.
So it's that sort of story that I would like you to think about creating or writing, maybe 2 or 3.
Sure. Good advice.
Will you do that? I mean, you're saying good advice, but will you do it?
Yes, I will.
So you're going to show it to Deborah?
Yes, I will show it. I show it to.
Okay.
Okay,
I mean, I agree with Deborah. There is so much said about the rationality of we do this, we do that. It's all safe. It's all good. You do this. We pick you up here. We take you there. We do this. It needs to be filled in with some color.
Okay.
With some adventure, with some excitement, with some passion. Yeah. So the creativity has to come in, because you're having to help Rwanda Development Board rebuild the tourism sector in Rwanda.
Yeah,
okay?
Creativity, innovations, many innovations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, but please, I will be happy to see just all of you here for just some experience, just to.
You have to entice us. You have to entice us. You need to give us, give me an idea of the adventure that I'm going to have.
Okay, so what
you
I
need
think,
to entice me.
Well, I think, Wilson, what you need to create is a Muganga experience. Not now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to work on it. Then I will share.
Okay.
With you. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Notice the word adventure. I loved the way Darrell said adventure, because safety after a while becomes BORING. Boring. Yeah. So you need to talk about the adventure that you bring in, the things that people were not expecting, and how they manage that. That is adventure. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. So which tour companies like yours but are not in Rwanda, which other tour companies do you look at regularly and go, oh, I like what they're doing. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay, cool. Are there any tour companies that you admire that are doing experiences, packages, you know, tours, 7-day, 3-day, 2-day sort of experiences?
Yeah, there are yes other companies, but I'm the one who is always bringing the innovation and the creativity. As you know, I am the pioneer of domestic tourism. Just always in my mind, I have creativity and innovation always.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So what I'd like you to do is to look at another country and look at a domestic tourism organization like yours that you would admire, and what it is you admire about the way that they are articulating their story. We're not asking you to copy them. We're asking to see what...
Come again, please.
Well, there's 172 countries out there. There's New Zealand, Australia, America, and so on. There are domestic tour companies around the world who are doing amazingly good things. So, you know, which domestic tour companies like yours, not in Rwanda, do you admire and why?
So I do admire some companies in Singapore. Yes, in India, they are there. Even in the UK, there are some in America. They are really just advanced because they are just addicted because they are citizen, the citizen of those countries. They
We've lost you. Wilson, I think we've lost you for now.
The value of traveling. Do you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Those countries, they try to create a mood for just public institution, private individuals. They know the value of taking vacation, of traveling. You know, they are really addicted in traveling.
Addicted.
So even in UK, I am trying to find partners, a partner whom we can just. I'm still looking the people who might learn something from them. So it's what I want Rwandans to be addicted in traveling.
Oh.
Yes. And just not only, just as we've been saying, not only Rwandans, even people from abroad to know that we have creative packages, very nice packages, good experience. But first of all, if Rwandans, they have experienced the packages, even they will be our ambassadors everywhere.
Yes, yes, of course, because, and again, it's about, as you're focusing on domestic tourism, it's about getting local voices and local advocates for your brand as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Wilson, can I ask you a question? I keep going back to this thing about adventure. I love your description, a mood.
Okay, thank you. Please go ahead.
Mood for adventure. I would like you to articulate what is the real reason for traveling.
The reason of traveling, the reason of traveling, it's like burning out, just stress out. You chase your stress out. It is good for healthy. It's just productivity. It just increases productivity in society. You run a new culture.
Okay, so I get that, and that's very, very nice. I think what you just said there, you need to turn that into like a paragraph. So when I ask you, you can describe it quite easily. You can say, look, if you're at home and you're not productive and you are stressed, you need to go to, give me an area in Rwanda quickly. Give me a geographic spot.
Geographic spot.
Yeah, give me an area.
Where you can go for leisure or for.
Yes.
Oh, so we have now we have 4 national parks, but
okay.
3 of them are in operation. We have a different just species of animals. We have the birding here for people who love birds, for birding. We have the Lake Kivu, where you can go for leisure. We have adventure, as you said.
Lake Kivu.
We have volcanoes where we hike. You can like we have 5 volcanoes, which we hike, which is hiked.
Okay.
We have a canopy which is in 2 countries in Africa, Ghana and Rwanda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, adventure, just very nice, very nice experience.
I've done the Ghanaian one. I'm looking forward to doing the Rwandan one with you.
Come again, Darrell?
I've done the Ghanaian one. I'm looking forward to doing the Rwandan.
Okay, sure. But we have camping. Camping is really, now I'm trying to see on how can partner with the hotels, people camping somewhere and bring some food or just on site. And again, I did some tests. I went for camping with some group and I had music there. And we made a barbecue at just on board.
There's a story.
It was really amazing.
There you go.
We have waterfalls. I remember one day I was with the family from UK, from Spain. It is in Nyungwe. Did you know that source of Nile? It is in Rwanda, in Nyungwe National Park.
Which that?
And in Nyungwe National Park.
Yes.
And one day I went, there is a waterfall there. There is one which called Kamiranzovu waterfall. So one day I went with the family, and when we get there, the mom, the lady, said to us, please, leave me alone for 30 minutes. I want to relax, leave me alone. So we left her alone. Then after 30 minutes, she came back and she said, wow, it's now really just a new life.
Wow.
She changed. Oh, I like that. A new life.
Yes. And
Lovely.
we have the hot water spring. It's really amazing. We have a lot.
I love that, Wilson. So what you've just done there is the sort of storytelling that I would expect from you. So then I can be drawn into, I'll be like, okay, right, I've got to save up my money. I've got to find out where I need to pay because I'm coming. So that's the sort of thing. What you've just done there, I want you to be able to say that, but more fluently, or more easily. So I want you to write that out as like a paragraph. You know, you could be bored, you could be stressed. Take this adventure with Wilson Tours to either do some camping or come to the parks or come to the waterfall or come to the hot water springs, and then you will feel so great afterwards. You know, it's that sort of thing that I'm looking for from you, and that's the reason why I keep talking. I know I should be, you know, but that's the reason why I haven't let you go yet.
Yeah, sure.
It's like feel. Reminds me of this simple concept: feel, felt, found. So you know, if you're feeling stressed, you know, I know what you mean, because I also, one of my guests, she felt the same way, and then we went to this waterfall, and then she found that she was so relaxed. She came back and told me about a new life. It felt like a new life. So she, you know, when someone's stressed, I know how you're feeling, because that's exactly the same way as one of my guests felt. And then what she found was that by going to the waterfall with Wilson Tours, she was like, you know, energized, a new life. So these lovely little stories are ways of which you can bring your, and I think you seem very clear on the processes that underpin all of this, that you seem very clear on the packages and the pricing and the processes of managing your business. And these stories will probably start to bring your brand alive in a way that will start to differentiate Wilson Tours from any other tour company, and will ensure, I think, in time that you will be able to attract those international agents that want to represent you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate it.
Wilson,
Yes,
my last piece of advice to you now is,
please.
is I want you to go back over this video once it's uploaded, and I want you to review very closely exactly what we've done with you, okay, so that you can deepen your absorption of what we've been talking about. We've shared a lot with you, and I'd like you to go back. So when you get the video, because Darrell downloads it after the session, I want you to go back to this session that we've just had with you. I want you to take your pen and paper out, and I want you to craft this paragraph that describes all the things that we've just done. Will you do that for me?
I will.
Okay, good.
I promise you.
Right. Now, Christelle, good morning, good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Good morning.
How are you? Hello, how are you?
Hello, I can hear you. Good morning.
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Very good, very good.
Sorry I was late today.
No, we're just having a catch up really, and a review and a rewind of where you all are and where you've got to, given all the wonderful people that have come into our life over the last 6 weeks. So where are you right now? What have you were last time we were talking, you were going to be launching a range, planning for a launch of a new seasonal range. So how has your week been going?
We are working on the finishing of the products that we are going to launch. Then in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to work with photographers and graphic designers so that at the end of the month, we get to launch it.
Super.
Yeah.
I'll let Deborah come in because this is her area.
Okay.
Christelle.
Hi, Deborah.
Good morning. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. How excited are you about this launch?
Before, when we were creating it, it was exciting, but now we have a lot of things to do. So the excitement is more about, it's more of stress, if I can say, but we're gonna make it.
Is it positive stress?
Yeah. Productive stress.
Right.
Good. Okay.
So you've listed them all out, Christelle, in terms of all the things that you need to do?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just checking. I'm not going to say much more. I think I've been speaking to everybody about storytelling. So that's the only thing that I would I'm curious about. Have you developed the stories that will go? Clearly, you're going to have. But do you have a story?
Oh, what's that? Someone. Hello?
Hello. Sorry, I got cut for like a minute, but I'm back.
Okay.
So, Deborah, you were saying?
I also got cut as well. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my question is this. I'm so excited that you're working with all these photographers, all these creatives that are going to bring all their energy to you. I want to know, have you organized a storyline for them to follow?
Not yet. I'm trying to collect ideas to do that, so that like when the graphic gets out, it has a story, but I haven't quite yet gotten I don't have it yet.
Okay, so pen and paper out, please.
Okay.
Yeah. What I want you to do is this.
Yeah.
Identify 2 or 3 people who buy your products and service.
Yes.
Yeah? Then I want you to identify the story, the struggle, the frustration. What do they feel like? What do they look like when they can't find the right outfit?
Okay.
You know, now I don't know about you, but for example, right now in my bedroom, I have mountains of clothes.
Okay.
I can't find anything. Okay.
Okay.
I keep avoiding going into the. That's my struggle. I want you to show the struggle, the challenge, the pain that someone has beforehand.
Yeah.
Then I want some pictures of your product range.
Yes.
And then I want a store. I want pictures of how do they feel afterwards. Now I don't know about you, but when I've got my nice clothes on, yeah, I'm posing in the photo. I'm posing in the mirror, and I'm looking for the biggest mirror. Now different people will do it differently, but the point.
Maybe you take a selfie.
Right. So that's exactly what I want from you. I want you today. And I just want those 3 steps. I want the picture or the pictures of the situation beforehand, the pain, the struggle. What does it feel like when you can't find what you need? Say, for example, I mean, some of your clothes might be for church. What does it feel like when you've got church in 20 minutes and you still don't know what to put on?
Okay.
You know, and your mother is saying, hurry up, hurry up. Your sister is saying, come, come, come. And you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. Okay. Then your product line comes into view. They're like, oh yeah, I know someone who I can get really good outfits from. And then what's it like? So there she's clapping in church, looking good. People are looking at her saying, oh, babes, you look good.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a very basic storyline, but you need to give the photographer your storyline before. Otherwise, they are making your brand when it should be you giving them the storyline.
Yes, indeed. You should be in control of your message.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is that possible?
That's a very interesting. Yes, it is. Because like now, mostly we are in the products we have children clothes, which is part of fabric and a very short part of yarn. And we thought about it because as children are staying at home because of the lockdown, there are no schools. Like they eat, they grow so fast.
They're getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, they get bigger
in front of your eyes.
Exactly. So most of the children have a problem of clothes now.
Right.
And as parents got to stay home, that's when they realized that the clothes children have, they don't fit anymore.
Fantastic.
Because mostly they wear uniform to go to school. That's 5 days a week. Now they're obliged to stay at home and they need clothes. So
what sorry, yeah,
mostly,
go ahead.
So mostly it's about those casual, mid-formal wear that children need right now. Yeah.
Lovely. So what you've described that so clearly. Now, what you've just described in words, I want the photographer to take photographs describing all of that. You know, the children growing, the parents scratching their head going, oh my gosh.
This doesn't fit anymore. This doesn't fit anymore.
Right.
Even what I bought like 4 months ago doesn't fit anymore.
Right. That is what, so that's the before. So I want you to take those photographs, and then the after. How do people, in fact, tell me, how do they feel once they get hold of your collection?
First, it's a relief. They're relieved that now the kids are getting new clothes, and children love new clothes. Mostly girls, when they have new clothes, they don't get them, like they stay with them. They don't want to get them out. So it's happiness all over.
Oh, I love that. Happiness all over. So that's exactly. So then I want a series of photographs which show that story, and it must show happiness all over.
Yeah.
Now you have a very basic format for before and after your brand. Before, they were stressed, clothes weren't fitting, oh my gosh. After, they're happy, they've got, you know, etc., etc. So that's how I want you to start visualizing and telling the photographer the shots. So you may need to get some of your people to do some acting.
Oh. Yeah, I love that.
To do some acting.
Wow.
You could even do some videos. You could even do some videos. That's what I want. Yeah?
We can,
Deborah,
we can
very bossy today, aren't I?
Deborah, I'm seeing a visual image which is on the left-hand side, the before.
Yeah.
Really despair, struggle, black and white photo, angst. And on the right-hand side, you've got this, you know, feeling happiness all over.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have this, you've got this.
I can see that.
See what I mean? Yeah.
So now you can brief your photographer, and if there's anybody taking video, like you could take video on your phone. You now have the brief. You say, this is what I want and how I want it. Because notice it's a story that all of us can understand. So even if I don't have children, I can tell, oh, guess what? Go there. They've got that, because you've explained it as a story.
Yeah.
Not information, as a story.
Okay. Yeah. So we have three types of products. Like we have that for kids, and we have some products for pregnant ladies. People are about to give birth. Like I said last time,
maternity.
Mostly people used to order online to get very like customized products, customized bumpers for their cribs. And bed covers for their babies, for their newborns. So to get unique and stylish items, you needed to order. But now it takes quite a long time, and people are not traveling. So we thought of doing some unique and stylish products about that. And even pregnant ladies are mostly frustrated when they are going to give birth. So we plan on relieving them at a very good price and very nice products.
And a nice little toy, a nice little gift. I wonder who can provide a nice gift for when somebody gives birth.
Hello, Bonfils.
Hello. Is he there? Has he missed? He's not there.
He's not there, but
he's gone.
So
it's a whole package. That's a good idea. I can work with Bonfils because it's a package we give. Like there is that bumper, there is a bed cover. We put in a dress. Like it's a package. Maybe we can throw in a toy. That's a very good idea.
Well, all the ideas are coming. They're all flowing. And Christelle, I love when you so understand the frustrations of your clients. Please take photographs of those frustrations so that other people.
Last for people who don't have kids, we have sofa blankets because it's summer here, but we have very cold winds at night. So when you are watching TV, when you are like you want to watch a movie, it gets cold at night. So sofa blankets are a very good fit now, and they work throughout the year. Like it's not a seasonal product.
Yeah,
lovely.
I want one.
It sounds so. Again, Christelle.
Yeah.
When I hear you describe what you do, it's so clear. I want it's spot on. I know, right, that's what I need to do. Get sofa blankets because it's cold. Great. But you've given me the story. I'm all snuggled up in the evening. Ooh, I'm a bit cold. Ooh.
Yeah.
So I want photographs which demonstrate that. Photographs or video. That's what you now need to do. So you've got all these people lined up, but you must give them the brief. Otherwise, they'll be like, don't know what to do. And I don't want you to waste money with your photographers who don't know what to do. I want you to direct them. And I want you to acknowledge how very clearly you describe the pain so well. And you describe the solution so well, and the happy ever after. Now you do it effortlessly. I don't know if you've noticed, but when I listen to you, it is effortless. I want you now to add photographs or video to describe that. Then we're going to see the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to work on that this week.
Okay. Bonfil, you're there now. Did you hear that we mentioned earlier there was an opportunity for you and Christelle to work on something?
Wow. It's like you. It's like she told you that we had a conversation yesterday. Yeah, the day before yesterday. Yeah, sure. We had a conversation.
Okay, good.
As you know, you shared with us that the economic recovery plan to Rwanda. You remember?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, sure. So I noticed that more than 160 children in Rwanda, they need to go to school. They need to take them to school. So it means that big number of children, they will need uniforms.
Yeah.
They will need like what she said previously. What was
school
that?
Sweaters.
School sweaters. Yeah, you see, made in crochet and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So we were like, we have something to do together. We can just draft a concept note of what niche can contribute to cover that. So
it's very exciting to have Niche and Africa Educational Toys partnering in terms of supporting the economic recovery plan.
Yeah, sure.
A collaboration. That's very exciting.
Yeah, sure. So on my side, it was like, those kids, they need they will need educational tools. They will need desks. They will need many things, many more. But also on the side of Niche Corporation, they will need those uniforms.
Yeah. School sweaters. I make them for schools.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Very exciting. I think the thing
it's 160,000
yes.
children that the government has to put to school.
So you can put together a concept note, can't you, and then present that to Minister.
Yeah, sure.
And that's something we want you to think about over the next few weeks. We'll introduce it more in the final week next week, is this idea of then where do you go from here? And what is it that you want to really pitch to government in terms of You know, a few weeks ago, you remember the minister said, well, how can we help these young entrepreneurs? So from our perspective, I think what we're going to be working on is next week, what we want you to do next in order to make that ask to government and to others in terms of how you take your business forwards.
Yeah, sure.
Getting the story right at the center of everything. You've got to get, as we focus a lot on today, the storytelling, because the more you can be clear about the story behind the brand, within the brand, the more you'll be able to clearly articulate what it is that your business resources are that you need, and on what basis.
Yeah.
Okay, Deborah.
No, I'm happily listening. I'm absolutely thrilled with the development in the team. I'm aware that yes, I'm aware that we've done a lot of talking, and I know that we wanted each one of you to perhaps speak to each other. So, for example, you know, the various entrepreneurs in today's session, if you could really reach out to each other and start identifying where are you at with pulling this all together. We've done all this work over these many weeks, and we need to really pass it over to you all to double check, like, you know, where are we now? So that's really what we wanted to also focus on. It is fantastic us doing this review with you, but we know from experience that when you also check with each other, so perhaps Wilson might call Bonfils and Christelle, etc., and say, you know, have you finished? Or Fidenz, is Fidenz still here? Have you finished this part of the value chain? Have you, you know, so that's really what we invite you to do, to call on each other and check that you've done all the parts. Some of you may understand some parts better than others, but we'd like you to go and do that, because we need to hear more from your voices. We're hearing incredible developments. Incredible. I mean, I those are big words, but I think that they're justified here. And we now need to know that you guys are completing all the sections of the value proposition map that we shared with you many weeks ago now. So that's basically all I wanted to put out there. Please check with each other and ensure that you've all completed your sections, because we want you to come back next week with more questions and an understanding of where your gaps are, where your strengths are, etc., etc. That's really where I'm at.
I think what we want, just building on from what Deborah said, it's incredible the amount of discussion and the story, you know, what you're sharing with us and the experiences you've had and how you're articulating what it is you're doing is incredible. So thank you for that. We want to enable you to create a sustainable business that outlives the Muganga. So it's important that all the things that we've learned along the way, from the mindset required for being an entrepreneur, in terms of thinking through what Kevin shared with us about brand building, in terms of thinking through what Sven shared with us about building building markets and understanding what markets to select. And we discussed both locally and then, once you've got that right, then regionally. Thinking through what Johan shared with us in terms of thinking through some innovations, in terms of the agility that you require now to be in this situation. All of that has to go back into the canvas that we presented you with in week 1. And out of that canvas, we would then expect you to be able to develop a a short pitch document and presentation, not for next week, but we imagine in 4 to 5 weeks' time, inviting back some of those experts that have been working with you so that you can pitch to them your business, your idea, and you can get some more feedback from them about how you can take things forwards.
And I recommend Professor Kevin.
Oh, okay. You would like Professor Kevin to come back.
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to make a plea to him now?
Yeah,
and we'll share it with him. So tell us why you'd like Kevin to come back in the room.
Yeah, really, Professor Kevin blown my mind away with his book, Brand Planning. Really, I have many questions to ask, even though really I learned many also.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to share that with him. I'm sure, though, that I know that you appreciate all the experts that have been with you over the previous weeks as well. Okay, so Deborah, do you want to say a final word?
No. Just know that this is a two-way process. You've grown, but we've grown too. So the thing about business is it gives us an opportunity to explore and develop together. So I wanted to share that with you, for you to know that. It's important for you to know that. You've helped us to reinforce some of the things that we know, that your participation with each other is very central, and that's the reason why I'm emphasizing this now. Please, please, please talk to each other more, see the connections more and more with each other. Yeah, I mean, the reason why I have this enthusiasm is because we've seen you all make these small steps, and each week we have been rewarded with seeing you make these small steps. And I mean, for example, Fidenz is going to be having that presentation tomorrow. Wilson is going to be making a presentation to the media houses. Bonfils has got your presentation to your houses. Christelle has a photo shoot. OMG.
Wow. Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So I wanted to, OMG, wonderful. So that's essentially part of my closing thoughts. But you can see that I'm consistent with asking all of you to clarify your stories. Part of business is that you need to make stories that people can connect with. If you only just give them information, they will ignore you. Why? Because there's so much information out there. But because we are all naturally designed for storytelling, they will start to listen. So that's my last message for you. Please, all of you, focus on your storytelling, okay? And then collect the photographs that can help you to express that, complete the tasks that we've given, and let's continue to build these amazing Rwandan enterprises.
Yeah. Thank you. Nothing more to say. No comment. Deborah says it all. Okay. We look forward to seeing you next week. But I also want to emphasize what Deborah's just said. Yeah, do keep in touch with each other. If you want to set up a separate group, by all means do. It's for you to now have those conversations with each other, to check in with each other, to identify the gaps, and next week we can explore more and therefore what comes next. Okay, everyone, thank you for your time this morning. Have a great week. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Thank you.
Pleasure.